so-called, so-called Caucasian white race being exposed. All right, Habakkuk 2 and verse 16, chapter 2 and 16. All right, chance of viewers to be upon thy glory. Because at the end of the day, and they taught us this in the school, all right, in the history, that the so-called white man conquered the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. All right, and the reason because of that, because Heavenly Father, the Yahweh God, through Yahweh Shah, through His only begotten Son, allow these things to happen. All right, because we fell from His laws, statutes, and commandments. Because we are the chosen people. Punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
Yeah. Like you said, man, coming in the time of prophecy, especially when it comes to the time of the Lord, about to bring the transition of power. Okay, as we come into the downfall of Esau, okay, which is known as, the so-called white race when it comes to this place, America. Okay, the stronghold when it comes to their rulership, America, Babylon the Great, on its downfall. Okay, in the midst of that, okay, as we know that America is known as well when it comes to so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, okay, you Israelites, that this place is our captivity, okay, our punishment. Okay, the Lord purpose upon us, okay, have us subject to these demons. Okay, now we come into the time of liberation. And how about Yahweh Shah is reawakening the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. When it comes to the 144,000 and the 1/3, that's a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American descent. Okay, so like the brother Yakam is going into, okay, as we make the nation. When it comes to 2/3, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, they're going to be cut off and judged here in America, man, by the various plagues that Lord about to bring. Okay, now we come to the time of Esau, Edom, judgment as well. Okay, once again, the liberation of the elect. We start with the elect. Okay? Let me do this. We need the limitation. Limitation 4. One side, it's the time of Esau, you don't drink of the cup. Okay?
I got Rock 10 and 8. This is Ecclesiastes for Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealing, injury, riches gotten by deceit, kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, it's transition to power. Okay, that's why you can't get time poverty. You come to this place of America. Okay, downfall of Esau, Edom. Right along with the rest of the nation. Okay, damn these false prophets from Israel. They're trying to save you. In particular, Esau, okay? Although we know they would have Israelites scattered among these nations. Okay, when it comes to the bloodline, got to go back to Negro and Native American descent. Okay? When it comes to the Israelite corner. But when it comes to the average Gentile, the original heathen, ain't no salvation for them. Okay? We're in the time of their downfall, start with the biblical Edomites. Okay? Just as we had to drink of the cup, we come to the curse. Okay, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16 through 68. Okay, these nations will have to drink of it. Okay, when it comes to the Lord returning, Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, returning, and putting these nations in captivity. Okay, or layman terms, slavery. Okay, starting with the elites of Esau. Okay? And the rest of you see the nations that remain after the great destruction of this place of America. So eventually this place of America is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles at the peak of the Third World War. Also leading to the time of the Yahweh Shai second coming by the way of the chariots, what the world called UFOs, okay, the vehicles of the angels, and Yahweh Shai bringing war at the peak of the Third World War against these two nations, which is going to indicate the downfall of Esau. And that's going to lead to this place destruction by the way of the missiles. And out of the midst of that, Yahweh Shai only going to deliver the elect. Okay? Physically salvation by the elect being beamed up into those chariots when it comes to the 144,000 and the 1/3. of the nation of Israel. Okay, Israel only. Okay, not all nations. Okay, their future, once again, we see the nations with captivity. Once Yahweh Shai established the kingdom here on the earth, in the land of Israel. Okay, which the land of Israel, okay, is going to be cleansed by the way of the Memphis. Okay, due to the fact that the people that's over there are not the original inheritance when it comes to those small hands. Okay, which go back to Esau, Edom, in particular, Amalek. And once that land cleansed, okay, in the due time, Yahweh Shai is going to establish the kingdom here on the earth, starting out of the land of Israel with a true inheritance, which happened to be, once again, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? Those that descend out of that bloodline. Okay? Not pertaining to all nations. Okay?
Jeremiah 30, verse 16. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
So I guess we call them Genesis now. Okay, what the acronym is?
TCG. Yeah, something.
But we know former members of Sakari. Okay, when it comes to the second command, now the head of Genesis.
Yeah, congregation Genesis.
Congregation Genesis. Okay, when it comes to Deacon Akai and Assad, now flipping the doctrine, saying that all nations can be saved. We must be forgot about Jeremiah 30, verse 16, 17. How all thy adversaries, okay, when it comes to our enemies, Esau, Edom, and we see the nations going into captivity. Okay, and Psalms 83 just to prove that who our enemies are. Okay, and all throughout the scripture, especially Esau, Edom. Okay, and still to what they still doing against us now. How the scripture says they always think that perpetual hatred for us. Okay, and the Lord always view them as our enemies, okay, as they known as the wicked. Okay. And Lord said he have ended nations against Esau, Edom forever. Okay, that's Malachi 1, verse 3 and 4. Okay? And so right along with not only Esau, Edom, all these heathen nations, when it comes to the original Gentile going into captivity. Okay, Revelation 13 and 9, going to that too. Okay, plenty of chapters. Okay, just as plenty of chapters when it comes to the book. When it comes to the nation of Israel, that the kingdom is only for Israel, okay? Let alone when it comes to salvation, deliverance in the times that we're in. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 12. For this said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
And at the end of the day, man, and that's true reparation. That's what we're waiting on. Humble, fearful elect. We're not waiting on so-called white man to give us money, give us land, give us freedom in this land. Because at the end of the day, it's not in their fucking blood. It's not in their DNA. It's not in their spirit. The Lord created this devil, to be the wicked. All right, it's just that simple. Look at the track record. Look at the history of the so-called white man. All right, and not only the elite, but down to your average white man. All right, even the ones that say, "Oh, I don't have no problem with black people. I don't see color, this and that, the third." But in due time, in due season, I promise you, and crackers will show they true fucking colors, man. That shit's real, bro.
So we always been separated. Ever since the time of Genesis, when it came to the sons of Isaac. Okay, you know about Abraham, Isaac. Okay, then Isaac had Esau and Jacob. During that time, the Lord said there was going to be a separation, okay, between those two nations, which to play out today, once again, the Edomites, Esau, or the so-called white race, okay, and Jacob represents the 12 tribes of Israel today. Okay, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and history don't prove that. Ever since the time of Genesis, we are, once again, that perpetual hatred. Okay, you know about ancient history. Okay, the Greco-Roman Empire. Okay, the Dark Ages. Okay, how we always been battling against each other, fighting against each other. That go all the way back to the forefathers, like you saw in Jacob during the time of the womb. Okay, so how the hell now in 2026, as we on the verge of the transition of power, that Lord about to raise us up and bring down Esau, Edom, and these people nations. Now all of a sudden the Lord gonna have a change of heart. Okay, which the scripture says the Lord doesn't change. Okay, when it comes to the words of Yahweh, who salvation is for, who the kingdom is only for. Okay, and when it comes to these other nations being subject eventually up on us. Okay, you see a lot of our people, they've been in America too long. Okay, especially false Israelite leaders. Okay, they're being compromised and trying to be comfortable here in America. Okay, that's why the Lord says, for that Psalm 21 and 11. Let me get it. Yeah, I get it. I got it right here.
It's Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 5 in the NLT. Your eternal hatred, and eternal means forever. So at the end of the day, these white people hate us, man. At the end of the day, bro. Alright? At the end of the day, Esau, Edom hate the descendants of Jacob. Alright? And yeah, we have confusions of faces out there. Alright, and they proclaim themselves to be so-called white people. And they may hate niggas. Hell, we hate niggas, man. You know the degenerate plan of our people, we hate them too. But that's for a righteous person because they're with the faith. Alright, and at the end of the day, they're always killing their own brothers and sisters. Alright?
They're the main ones that come against us too. Okay, when it comes to their true inheritance and their power, how about you now with us? Okay, so our attitude, our mind frame, just as the scriptures when it comes to the mind of the Lord, forget about the two-thirds. Okay? But eventually they're gonna be judged. They're gonna have to come back in the kingdom, being reborn through the elect. Okay, our whole concern is to gather the elect, pray that ourselves that we part of that fold, working out our own salvation for fear and trembling. Okay, knowing the terrors of the Lord, we persuade men. Okay, when it comes to the Israelite men, start with the men, women, and on down, man. Okay, eventually when it comes to the elect, they're gonna be persuaded. Okay, but when it comes to the two-thirds, forget about them at this time. Okay, right along with Esau, Edom. Like you say, you know that Esau, Edom had that potential hatred towards us, right along with Edom, but they are our enemies. That's how the Lord set it up. Okay, so just now that we come into the understanding that we're the Israelites, that the Lord dealing with us, we come with the understanding that, hey, the hatred is new. Okay, against these people, man. Okay, we got a strong dislike against these people as well. Okay? Continuing in Ezekiel 35.
Ezekiel 35 and 5, NLT. Your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless.
Yeah,
when I had already.
There's a time that we in now. Okay? And we supposed to be what? Post-slavery, slavery supposed to be over with. Okay? But now they still that perpetual hatred. More anytime now. Further up. Okay, yeah, they're further. Okay? Well, we know when it comes to these average Edomites, oh yeah, we gotta work with them, our daily walk with them. Okay, yeah, blase. Okay? But we already know tensions are gonna rise when it comes to the race wars, division, especially when all hell breaks when it comes to survival. Okay, but mainly when it comes to that pure hatred that these Edomites have, really amongst these elites. Okay, how these elites really feel about these Negro Latinos and Native Americans. Once again, Psalm the 83rd chapter, as they're trying to cut us off as a nation. Okay, man, mainly these elites, these central bankers. Okay, the illuminated ones. Okay, such as the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the DuPont, Getty, Oppenheimer, and the 1%. Okay, that know who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites are. To the point they're trying to cut us off as a nation. Hey, when it comes to the curses, even though the Lord put the curses upon us for being disobedient, okay? But Yahweh Shah said if we saw Edom, to help follow those curses, okay? To help aid into those curses, okay?
Psalm 17 and 13, like I read earlier. The wicked is the sword, Yahweh Shah. And also going in Ezekiel, the 21st chapter, verse 9 on down to 11. Giving that sword into the hands of the slaves. All right, so Esau, even the so-called white man, he was given that blessing, going all the way back to Genesis. That was his blessing. That's how he was going to rule. That's how he was going to conquer. All right. And in the end days that we're living in, that's how he's going to, destroy the 2/3 of the Yahweh's people. So continuing on, Ezekiel 35 and 5. When I had already punished them for all their sins, verse 6. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord Yahweh. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord Yahweh, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a blood bath of your own. Your turn has come.
When it comes to the Lord, this is something when Yahweh Shah comes in to take them out of power. Okay? They're going into slavery. And when it comes to the nation of Israel, something with the elect, these young heirs, the Lord going to use us. Okay? To bring the punishment of Esau, just as the Lord used Esau to bring the punishment and the curses upon us, there's going to be a role reversal. Once again, a transition of power. Okay? When it comes to Yahweh Shah reaching up to the house of David, David himself rule again over these heathen nations, start with the Israelites. That's Ezekiel chapter 25, which I got here real quick. Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 14. And it says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury. They shall know my vengeance, say the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Okay? If the Lord even use the nation of Israel, he has his hand. Okay, the hand symbolize, okay, meaning power. Okay, so when the Lord raised up the nation of Israel, eventually Yahweh Shah returned, and bring all these nations out, okay? The Lord going to use us to rule over these nations. Okay? That vengeance, okay? So that cut that all.
Yeah. Got some books right here. Remember you had said something about the book?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's all you. Okay. Pick that up. Negro question. Then you know that we the chosen people of the Lord. If you know no color line, all that.
No. I like my books too, but I'm gonna go to the book. Double.
Yep.
So I was thinking about Romans 11.
What about Romans 11?
Romans 11. He talks about the olive tree, the olive tree. Yeah, I know you're right. He talks about the natural branches being cut off. The unnatural branches being grafted in. The wild. He calls the wild olive branches. Right? Right? Now he goes through in Romans 10, right? Talking about how I wish I could be accursed, right? For the sake of my brethren, because they're being rejected. Because they rejected Christ. God is rejecting them. He talks about the fulfillment of the Gentiles.
Once again, you gotta know who the Gentiles is. You go to Romans 11. When it comes to
1 Corinthians 12 and 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. All right, that's going to us being led into dumb idols.
Let's think in context.
Hey, you mentioned Romans 11.
about the olive tree?
Yes, sir.
And the wild olive tree?
Yes, sir. But stay. Now, when I say stay in context, right? If I write you a letter, right, and if you can go through that letter and you can pick and choose, right, and make it say whatever you want it to say, right? If you read it in context, word for word, line for line, precept upon precept. Like anywhere you say therefore, right? You say because of everything I said before, right? Here, this, and so he's taking it to the next step, right? So Romans 10, right? He talks about I wish I could be a curse, right? I wish I could be a curse, right? All right, you can go further back in the Romans 8, 9, right? In other words, take it all context, right? Romans 8, 9. He talks about the selection between Esau and Jacob, right? How not all the descendants of Abraham, right, are Israel. Though they are the descendants physically, right? But because they weren't of the faith of Abraham, right?
And it wasn't the bloodline of Abraham either.
No. He said though they are of the descendants of Abraham, right? He said they did not have the faith of Abraham.
Well, when it came to we thought he came from the blood out of Abraham. When it comes to Ishmael, he came from the blood out of Abraham. Okay? But
Yeah,
it was not the chosen.
And you're right. Because God talks about choice. He says, what if I made for some have the same lump of clay, some vessels for honorable use, and some vessels for dishonorable use. They were still from the same lump of clay.
But you say something dishonor. So what that means?
But,
They dishonor me that he ain't
Is it about the chosen? Yes or no? Is it about the chosen?
yeah. When it
Chosen
came,
is Israel.
without a doubt, because Paul says that. He says that. He says that it's through them came the blessings, came the temple service, came Christ himself, right? But he said that was their purpose. That's why they were chosen, was to bring forth Christ. But not the, that's why the
Still going on Christ. His name wasn't Christ.
But
Like
this whole thing about it, he still think about
or whatever.
when it comes to the
You know what we talking about, right?
Hold on now. Because you still coming out and when it comes to the Gentiles, you still don't got the understanding of the Gentiles in the New Testament. That's who Paul went to. You still think about Gentiles when it comes to the original Israel. Okay? But not when it comes to you make mention, hold on, you make mention of the olive tree. It's the wild olive tree that represents Israel. Wild olive. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. That's why I think
Look, that's what we gonna come with. That's what we gonna tell you.
Okay,
I don't know at the end of the day. I ain't know why you coming up with it.
you don't understand the wild, but you don't understand the wild olive that came from the wild olive that came from the olive tree with Israelites that fell from their inheritance. You talking about the book and stuff. Remember, I told you last week.
Maccabees. You ain't know about the Maccabees.
Remember I told you about the
You ain't know
Hellenized.
about the Maccabees.
You better go to the Hellenized.
You said that. I don't know about it.
right? No, I'm not disagreeing. I don't know everything.
We don't need it, but at the same time, on certain things, we know.
I'm gonna know that you ain't gonna know if I start. That doesn't.
No, I
that doesn't.
we know way more than you. I would tell you that.
Well, you know the worldly wisdom. We know the spiritual wisdom. Yeah, that's why I said that. We know the spiritual wisdom. You only know worldly wisdom.
That's just through the Spirit of the Lord.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
And with the Lord,
It's all about Israel. We know read plenty of scriptures on that.
Both
Yeah. But if you're going back to what I said, going back to what I said, in context,
What context is?
all the Romans, right?
Israel.
So first of all, who the Romans are? Who the Greeks and the Romans is? In ancient, you know all the books and enough books and history. Who was the
I'll let you tell me. I'll let you.
Well, who was the ancient Greeks and Romans?
I don't know.
Tell me that book is. Tell me, you know the way. No, the one that calls 1,000 books. This one? Which one?
So I'm looking at these others.
You saw you. And even going further back on the Greeks are Japheth. So-called, see, you don't even know who Japheth is. So-called Samoans, Aboriginal, Fiji Islands, and all those individuals over there.
So let me, I need a real quick understanding of something, so I have a clear understanding. Y'all basically believe that everybody is Caucasian?
No, you get mixed up.
No, I know.
Go ahead.
I'm asking you face to face so that I don't
Go
get
ahead.
an opinion.
Ask the question.
I just did.
Do it again. I'm didn't listen.
Do you believe everybody is Caucasian?
That means so-called Arabs, Chinese, Japanese. Yeah, the numbers 1 to 18. Because you stuck on white. That's why. That's how I know it's of the world. Because everybody.
What's the nationality of the city of your father?
Just like anybody, I only know what I know. You know what I mean? I only know what I know. I come here to talk to you face to face to get real information. Not go by just what I heard.
Well, it's not about what you heard, it's just what you got to study as well. You understand it?
No, I got it. That's all. But according to that right there, I think that might be bottom line. Yeah, no, I can get that. That might be. Yeah, because I don't think you.
That's like you said something about Irish. No. We were saying last time.
No, we were talking about sweating. I don't see any Europeans.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna see these right here are two different things.
No, but I'm.
These are false and they inside the gate. I mean, the first one has so-called Negro Latinos, Native Americans.
No, I get that.
That is most European, Haitian, or Chinese, Arab, that we're trying to say.
But I'm just
You probably came from one of these people on this side. You probably an African American. You probably Puerto Rican. You might be a Puerto Rican. You might be gay. You might be Native American.
as far as I know, it's the news. I mean, as far as my information that I know, I'm not on that. That's not true.
But at the end of the day, it's according to faith.
So you don't consider what European or
Color.
That's why we have to think about the outward thing. Most of the people don't know these problems. It also
I agree, right? Like, I'm not trying to make accusations. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to make an accusation and it's all. I come here legitimately. I'm a seeker of truth, right? Now, I'm gonna say I think so.
Romans 10 and 2. Have a zeal, but not according to knowledge.
But
You just quoted Romans, so look,
Romans is my favorite book.
you might be one of those tribes. You might be. Because you keep coming up, this is the second time you came up with it. Trying to see, like you said, you a seeker of truth. That's our people at the end of the day, trying to seek wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Yeah, Romans 11 and 7.
Yeah.
But see, I'm still.
But the rest is mine.
See, the person I'm stuck on is not race. It's not like white,
What
black.
you stuck on? Be honest, what you stuck on?
What am I stuck on?
Yeah.
God so loved the world. That
You
word.
understand?
You got to break that down.
No, I
In the
have.
Greek. You broke it down in the Greek. What it mean in the Greek?
The world there's cosmos.
What that mean?
Creation. God so loved
The word cosmos means arrangement. Arrangement.
cosmos. Where we get the word cosmos.
Yeah, you bring, trust me, bro. You know, everything you trying to bring, we already
Yeah, that's what we trying to tell you.
through the Spirit of the Lord.
That's of the world that they think that everybody can be saved and everybody is of Jesus Christ and all that.
But Whosoever would call upon the name of whosoever.
What's the name? See, I just said the name.
So when the name is translated, so my name's David, right? When it gets translated into Spanish, it's David. When it gets changed,
See, that's the spirit. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what the original language that David came from? What is that?
y'all are
Dawah.
well trained in y'all's arguments.
I mean,
That's why most of the time, just listen. You know, not to
Ecclesiastes 5:1, you can hold that right there. Said Cosmo says, and for a rainy an arrangement, the world of Israel, man. At the end of the day.
Lord arranged the nation of Israel start with the next.
Yeah, it is. It's so big.
Most of our people don't understand when it comes to the King James Bible. It was translated out of the Hebrew, Greek, Latin. Okay? So that's why we're going to the fruit of that and take to our apostles and elders and give us to understand.
It says the Gentiles as consecrated to the Jews, Romans 11 and 12. Thank you. Romans 11 and 12.
Mention Romans 11.
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
Going to the olive tree.
Olive tree.
The olive tree is the Israelites. So when it came to the wild olive that fell from that branch, it was Israelite foreigners that went into the customs of the other nations.
Being in the Gentile state of mind. Because at the end of the day, before we woke up, we was in the Gentile state of mind, believing in America, believing in the aspirations, wanting to do the things that,
During that time, they was following after the Roman Empire. They were going into the ways of the Hebrews, meaning that they didn't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why Paul went to them, to present the laws to them, but it was also by the way of faith. So everything was justified by faith, but it was only to the Israelites that fell from their inheritance. Not the Roman Edomites or the other heathen nations that was amongst the Romans. It was only given to the Israelites that was amongst them. When it comes to that wild olive tree, okay, that's why they were drafted back into that branch. Okay, a branch represents when it comes to the tree spread, but they got to have a root for them the branch to spread. And that root represents what? The Israelites. The olive tree represents the Israelites.
And that root goes back to Israel. It goes back to Israel.
So the branch that came from that tree that was cut off, the wild olive, doesn't mean that it was other nations. So it was but it had to be drafted back in. Okay?
I'm postulating. No, I mean,
we get it. Hey, it's a lot.
Because one thing, for years, because when it comes to Christianity, or plantation Christianity, we call it, for years, it always taught our people all the world, who the world called Christ, or when it comes to God, the Bible, He's for all nations. But now we come to the understanding, thanks to the Spirit of the Lord, through the Hebrew Israelites, through the prophets, the teachers that the Lord raised up, that the Lord always been a shepherd when it comes to a nation.
I want to bring this up, but I feel like you need to mention it. So I was researching the Hebrew Israelites, like where it started and like this stuff. And I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. I think he changed it. Something Israel, something Israel. And he was I want to say it right. He was an African American from America.
Yeah.
He was from America. And he decided that he came up with this idea. And then he moved to Israel. He started, when I understand, I'm trying to.
So he moved to Israel.
You're probably talking about the big
Yeah, that came.
Yeah, but which day?
That not where it started?
No, Really the two came out of one
One
West.
West. You ever heard of One West?
When it comes to an individual named Abba Bishop. Okay, that you know about the time of One West. So now you follow.
I mean,
When it comes to
this body gonna sound right. I still talk to Mormons, I still talk to Muslims, I still talk to a lot of people. I mean,
But to tell you the fact, none of them have the truth. Mormons don't have it. Islam doesn't have it. Christianity definitely has it. Definitely doesn't have it. Egyptology, Scientology.
so the actual Jews in Israel, what are y'all thinking of?
Oh, no, they're not the real. They clones.
How can they read in the land of the land?
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Isaiah was two. Go ahead.
Yeah, Isaiah. Are we in a time of peace or war?
Israel's been at war since
Yeah, but
their
it's-
inception.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. You said they've been at war, right?
But also too, when it comes to the Lord children, going back, when it come back to the Lord children, being back in the land, the Lord said, who was going to establish them back in that land? For the world called Christ, right? So where the Messiah at? Where David at? Where the 12 tribes at?
Damn. Right there. You can't come on, man.
Where the peace at? Where does the Lord
Yeah, where is the peace? Everybody fucking struggling every day.
But where the Lord said, when the Lord told the people back in the land, that's where the law says the commandments going to go forth. They didn't put the law says.
Not. And you know that. You know it's a bunch of fucking PDF files over there. Bunch of, killers, murderers. Yeah.
What about, but speaking of the law, right?
I'm going to still read it.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse.
Because the people that's over there, they got that land in 1948 by the Balfour Declaration. Okay, when it came to them, they stole that land. They stole that land or put themselves upon that land when it comes to the elite. Okay? You can look that up. Lionel Rothschild, okay, the leader of that. Okay, Lionel Rothschild, gave them the go ahead to get in that land. Okay? Which that land goes back to when it comes to them stolen that land, when it comes to that tribe, which they are Edomites, in particular, the head tribe of Esau Edom, Amalek, okay, which we call the small hat, okay, the most filthiest tribe of Esau Edom here on the earth, the most foulest, that run everything when it comes to wickedness, okay, that show you that they ain't the Lord chose the people.
This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord, Yahweh, house, shall be established in the top of the mountains.
And you say the last days. What the last days mean? End time prophecy. Okay, so and when it comes to who the world called Christ and his return supposed to be appointed in the last days. Okay, so it says when it comes to the last days. So if we're in the last days, the Lord will establish the kingdom of Israel. Okay? But then you take a look, you see that the people that's over there in the land today, okay? If they in the last days, the niggas is appointed to them, okay, righteous folks will come out of that land. Okay?
So we supposed to live forever. We dying. We still dying and we still in sin.
You
I
supposed
know
to
them
be liberated
people.
from the curse.
Yeah.
They over there kicking hell in them on the land of Israel, man.
And like you quoted, it's still nothing but war.
With the Iranians,
It's still war out here.
Iranians destroying them and everything, man. Hey, the first night they declared the land unto themselves, then a war broke out. A 7-day war.
What did Jesus say when they asked him? He told them, I have you come to abolish the law.
We still gonna focus on what you said about them people being the people. They're not the fucking
The
people.
last time he came up there,
They're not the people. They not. They really not. And we told you, read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, verse 68. So Isaiah 2, continuing on in verse 2. The Lord's house, Yahweh, shall be established in the top of the mountains, and
that's going to the true house of the Lord. When the Lord, who the world called Christ, which name is Yahweh, means he is the deliverer, he is the Savior. Once he returns, okay, to deliver the nation of Israel the next by the way of the children. How the Lord return? And what should form a fashion? Yeah, by the way of what the world call UFO, the church.
It's going to crash the cloud. What people call UFOs is going to be a so-called alien invasion. It's going to be a lot of killing, a lot of death, and a lot of salvation. Only to the elect. And you probably don't believe that. That's why you do.
When we say aliens, we ain't talking about what the government push when it comes to little green creatures or graves. Because now that's what they're going to try to push now on the forefront. Because they're being exposed. But these elites and these governments, they know that we have the truth and what we're teaching. And when it comes to the so-called UFOs or the vehicles of the aliens, in which they are led by so-called dark-skinned entities or dark-skinned men. Okay? When it comes to the Lord's angels. And the Lord himself, who the world called Christ, he's a so-called dark-skinned man. He's from the tribe of Judah.
Continuing on, shall be exalted above all the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Verse 3.
So if he exalted amongst all the hills, amongst all the mountains going into the government. Okay, the word mountain or hill meaning government. Okay? And when Yahweh Shai established the kingdom of Israel, it's going to be our government above all these other nations.
Okay, let me jump down to verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Hey, so you don't see that over there in the land now. There's constantly more and more war. Matter of fact, they've ahead of the war over there in the Middle East, or minor Asia. Okay, they've been like that ever since they came into the land, 1948. Okay, they always had constant war over there. Okay, that land will be destroyed, man, eventually by the way of thermonuclear missiles, where they be cleansed at the peak of the Third World War. Like you're going to also in this time of who the world called Christ, Yahweh Shai is coming, invading this place as well, America, by the way of the Third World War. Because this place, America, ultimately, is coming to this time of destruction, but this place, America, will be eventually destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles.
You can also read Ezekiel the 36th chapter. Them people ain't.
Yeah.
If they were the people, if they were really and truly people, we wouldn't be living in sin. Like he said, where's our Lord and Savior? Where's so-called Jesus Christ?
Where's David?
Where's King David? Like you said, Romans 11:7. So, hey, at the end of the day, that's because nobody teaches this true breakdown. And this is the true breakdown. No people ain't. And deep down inside, you know that shit.
Yeah, history proves it, information.
Yeah.
We're in the information age now. Okay? And more information coming out. They want trying to censorship, declassify, classified, or how they, which all gonna lead to eventually famine and worse. Because eventually Lord gonna remove his prophets, man. Okay, as we out here on the highways and byways. So right now, we just move this book. Lord, what are we under the next? We got many other Lord's chosen men out there that's out here teaching worldwide, man. And courtesy to the internet. But when all hell break loose and the Lord moves his men, then our people gonna be one of the teachers. Okay? And right now you seeking. Okay? It's up to you how about you now child, through the kid, if you're an Israelite. Okay? So you truly are seeking.
You got that zeal. I can't say that. You got that zeal. Not according to knowledge, it's not.
It's according to knowledge, but it's according to the right way. The right way. No, that's the spirit of the Lord. Okay, you think you stuck on Christianity or Jesus Christ or all nations should be saved, America gonna hold on. Okay, hell, doctrine,
I'm saying he don't believe in hell. Yeah, he has said that last time. You don't believe in hell, right? That's what you said last time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
So Jesus saw hell when he was like,
that means
you understand.
you got more good.
Is
hell real, yes or no?
Yeah.
In what way? You ain't believe in hell, ain't it? You just said that, man.
Well, I do believe in hell.
So you believe in the eternal
Fire,
fire?
eternal fire, that what you believe in?
That you only live once.
You don't believe in reincarnation. I remember you said that.
Yeah, I told him.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
But you don't know the concept of
So Revelation was like 21 and 9. After the great white throne. Heavenly and all those names are not written in the book.
Lake of Fire. Lake of Fire is really this place America be destroyed about. This whole land could be destroyed about.
That's why you don't believe.
Why you think America over there?
So when Jesus said weeping and gnashing of teeth,
people gonna be suffering.
Yeah, they be suffering. They're going to the
but
suffering.
the worm never dies. The fire never quenched.
Nuclear fire in America.
Eventually nuclear fire goes out.
Where? In America.
Yeah, so once
It will eventually go out.
yeah, once
Yeah,
this place gonna
The
be
nuclear fire will kill the worm. There will be no worm.
look, we trying to say, once this place America is destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, it gonna be a period of time that it burn. Hey, but it's gonna become a
So when he says, when your right hand closes to your sin, cut it off.
that means whatever you can
No, the way you say
I
it.
ain't all over. Yeah,
No,
you all
the
over.
way
with no money,
you
with no
say it,
with no
it's better. No,
he confusing himself. He understand when your right hand defends you mean that whatever apprehend you
no, I get it. I
doing
get
wrong
it.
or doing right, you gotta stop it, so you can better yourself.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't need to, but you don't know what you're talking about.
No, let them talk. Because all they want to do anyway. All they want to do is talk. That's why you stopped by here last time. You already know we ain't on the same goddamn accord. Not to be down talking. Like, come on, man. You know you ain't going to believe. You right, but you not going to believe. You keep coming up here, bro. You keep coming up here, bro. Why you keep coming up here? That's the question.
But he's speaking, but then
That's what I'm saying, bro.
question, he's trying to give an answer.
You ain't want to fucking hear it.
But so he really is just wasting time.
Because I'm pissing you off, I will walk off.
Okay, have a good night.
I'm sorry for cussing. I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm emotional right now.
I get that.
Go to Amos 3, get that Amos 3. Two walk together.
Oh, you good. I'm emotional right now. Go ahead. What you got?
No, he emotional. He's passionate. So we in the time.
I get that.
He's trying to get the truth because we already studied the salvation on the book. And we didn't all hell about the Christians. Lost the law. People said, I mean, you don't believe in that.
I thought we were having a conversation about it.
You keep going back and forth.
That's what the conversation is.
Oh, we're here to teach. We're going to go back and forth. Just teach on your
Like
real talk.
Well, then I apologize. I thought we were having a conversation.
We be teaching.
What we have a conversation, but they ain't on one accord.
Yeah,
You got to
A
believe.
minute ago, you thanked me for searching and for being here. But then,
because I know deep down inside you don't
but then in
believe.
turn, you don't rub me off.
You don't believe, bro. You don't believe.
Contradicted every.
No,
You don't believe.
Contradicted your own
Well,
self.
at the end of the day, you don't believe.
why should we trying to give you the still don't believe? Why should we give you this? Why should we that we have, which we know is the truth? You ain't want to tell
You ain't going to say
ain't gonna go nowhere. You done been up here twice, huh?
the second time. First time out, we was cordial because we thought otherwise. But now we're seeing your true intent.
No, you were saying
So we could, the thing about it, man, when it comes to the men of the Lord himself is an all-spirit man. The Lord spoke with authority. Paul, his men, he spoke with authority. Like you feel the emotion of the city, the Christianity, we got to sound this and that. Yeah, we come forward. Yeah, we got to be like that. We've been doing this for years. Hey, but look, you think, listen, you think that he's rough around the edges.
Yeah, wait, all hell break loose and these crackers be in the streets, fucking killing people.
That's
White
racist
people.
stuff.
Ain't white people racist? Come on, man. Get out of here, bro. Edomite, yeah, Esau, you right. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we definitely in play. You know the truth.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like, most times, won't come up in no more. The little old will, we out here again. Okay? The next time, he'll know me. I said, yes, no. But he didn't know nothing, man. He's showing the books and everything. And when you showing the books, all right, here you go. He gonna come with this and that. If you start asking more and more questions, you still stuck on school. Okay, we estimated. Have you ever, since you come up book stuff, last time you came out here, you read up on the Hellenization street, the Maccabees, the Greco on the Greek Empire and all that? No. You still stuck on they would bring up the olive trees, wild olives. You didn't even know, man.
It's the same back and forth shit. Yeah, all hell about the, like you said, bro. All hell about the radio. Like I said, I don't know about the culture. You know? That shit get aggravating. Yeah, that shit get aggravating, bro. And they already bad enough by trying to show cash and be, you know.
If you try,
yeah, bro.
The next thing you know, man, get out of here.
Leave us some fucking room, nigga.
Get out of here. For the us, that we try to be part of those that really good possess, those that really gonna come and see you. And you about to go read Ecclesiastes 5, verse 1. You can hold it in. I'm telling you, it's best for you to just be quiet and hear. Okay, you got questions here, answering through the spirit of Yahweh, through the scripture. Okay? And he wanted, when we try to answer one thing, as here is jump to another. Like you say, you all over the place. You confused. Okay, he was out here really with be out here hustling. He had a little armchair, whatever, going over there to the bar and everything. He was having kids out here again. He out here again. He still got the same argument. And we started more and more. What's up, bro? Hey, what up? We started more and more, right? Who?
What's good, Stace? What's good?
All right, now what's up, now?
What's good, Stace?
All right, hold it down,
you too, bro.
So more and more trying to fight him because he's gonna team up. Okay, you know, show him the books and stuff. If you talking about books and stuff, okay. All right, so who ruled you know so much history. Who was the rulers over the Greek and the Roman Empire? Okay, now that's going back to the scripture. We already know that it's symbolic, it's spiritual. When it comes to the beast, the Daniel saw. You could have went to Daniel 7 chapters. Oh, you really with a ticket in the deep water. Okay, going into the empires that Daniel saw when it came to Nebuchadnezzar, Jews and all that. I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? What part of the statue that we are at now in this time? He would. Okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Me personally, I was trying to damn these chords and all that shit. All that back, like you said, but the main shit that pissed me off, all that jumping from this, jumping to that, jumping to this. You're not staying on one fucking topic.
So once we got him on one thing, then he want to jump to another thing. Then, hold on now, we already trying to get you to understand this. Well, then he jumped to another. What that really mean that he didn't really accept. That's what he wanted to them. I didn't see that when he wanted to them.
Get the fuck on,
You know, we just wasting his time, man. Okay, we ain't wasting our time, so, you know, we trying to be edifying, you know, to the ones out here, you know, that listening and watching the videos. Okay, the views that we do. Okay, but the more interested, we just trying to serve you how much our time. Okay, and get the truth. Okay, the Lord said, whether they hear or forbear. Okay, hey, they're amongst anybody. 5 people or these other nations. Okay, we bring up Esau, freedom and all that. Okay, oh, I don't know about that.
yeah, because this is the second time this motherfucker. Like I said, bro. He gave you mercy that first time. That second time, you come in with the same bullshit. Right, the second time. And he not told you. You not going to accept what we fucking believe, bro. Excuse my freak. You're not going to accept it.
Talking about these, thinking that those small hats over there.
Come on, man.
Nah, man.
Fuck out of here.
There's plenty of history that show you that they are not the Lord's people. They don't fit the Lord's okay when it comes to righteousness. You didn't want to fit that. Next thing you know, when it's being the Lord's people. And that means that y'all think that y'all Negro that still need America the Lord's people. See, that would really make them afraid. Any people are talking about European, I'm European. It's like, man, look, you got just like you said amongst all these Chinese, so
Right, we done told them that. We done told them that.
I see that night. father, you can say that. You might say this kind of get the family. The Lord said,
You might
say that.
come out race. Man, all this shit now, all this shit white people done did, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, what they doing to him? I'm pretty sure he kissed.
Yeah.
Okay, that what we saying.
Right.
Before you left. Before you left, you were like, man, you think you drunk, man. You thought you know. And then you didn't say now. You talking about we can ask him. Look at him. Corny. Tough. See, he put the Christmas and he don't have no understanding of it.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of food.
So keep thy foot. Hey, they tell you that because of the men of Yahweh now shot two men. Because you got other men out there, out of them false prophets, but because of two men, some of the possibly elder, the great millstone, and the truth still building on down, to tell you that we're going to be out here on the highways and byways. Okay, when these individuals come up, of course they walking, they got to walk up to the camp. But guess what? That's them, their foot. So when they come out here, they got to keep their foot moving, they got to keep their place. Okay, especially because of them listening is what they're acquiring with their people. Okay, like you said, a lot of these people, they got their motive. And well, I'm gonna hear what y'all got to say. And what we say, oh, this is what I want to get. Oh, no, that's the wrong way. That's why it's wrong. But you can go out.
All he wanted to do was talk.
Talk how much
Yeah.
you know that.
Me and his brother both understand that. That's one thing about the people of the world. All they want to do is talk. If you want to talk, do your own thing, man. Get the fuck away from us, bro. Real talk.
Coming out here to we understand the truth. When you pray how about you know start keep that spirit on us, man. Okay, not boasting and brag. You know this for a while. Up through our trials and tribulations, our ups and downs, the Lord, you want to give us the courage and the spirit to come out and teach us. Okay? So we have the understanding, man. And more we ain't teach. Okay, to the point that we trying to come out here and teach. But only to the ones that the Lord sees fit to receive the truth. And we pray that the Lord have mercy upon us and we can see them. Okay? Because the average person, they don't know what's going on. And when they come up with all they nastiness, okay, like you said, knowledge of this world, what he think he knows is this truth. And more is being as we say, being strongholds being brought down, okay, by the way of the words of Yahweh about 2 hours shot. Okay, they can't comprehend because really the Spirit of the Lord ain't dealing with them. Okay, to the point that we'll be frustrated, okay, because we in this flesh. Okay, but like I said, we cast it. So we just think about so you think our people have critical faith. Okay, we can think of it. Okay, you can see the public face.
I mean, we wrong.
Sorry. Now we got to go back to Christ.
Yeah, we got to go to Christ.
We got to do all
nations to be saved. Fuck out of here.
That's why people say, Yahweh Shah said, blessed are you that read. With all thy wisdom, thou get understanding into the Spirit. That's when they get us onto the next, onto the hope of the next. Okay? Now let's say the prophet never going down. Okay? That has the truth. Okay? I guess you would, Kyle would have been out here with it. Oh, they would have loved him. Yeah, they would love him.
Yeah, they would have said him. Yeah. He's a good man. You little fitty cat just snapping on top of his head. Fuck out of us. Genesis, TCG, nigga. The big G, not the little one. Crazy, man. Like I said, man, I've been pissed the fuck off. Like I said, this is the second time this nigga came up here, bro. Damn, man, that shit aggravated, dog.
Yeah, it is, man.
Damn.
You gotta see watching all the hell about
great things. Leave us alone.
How corrupt our people is, how corrupt Esau eat them is.
Damn.
You gotta bust their ass all week. Then Lord, you know, niggas
Call me racist. They ain't got a bitch.
somebody has to do the work. It's a privilege and you know honor. Okay, then you got to out of all the time you deal with the days, you got to come out here on the highways and byways and deal with this football. You know, you got bad time.
On my
no, I tell you, wait till the family know what the game takes place. Lord hell business, then they gonna want to take for him. Or what Amos 8 and 11.
You know what? Ecclesiastes 8, chapter 5, verse 1.
Y'all doing good. All right. Last time I've been out here, that's why I come there. Yo, I've been there kind of
Oh, yeah, kind. Not cool. Yeah, that's the spirit, though. That's the spirit.
Yeah. That's what it is, that man say something. Y'all gotta get y'all. Hold on. You didn't know about the Hellenization kids, man. This time I said, you look at the study on the Hellenization kids? Maccabees, you know, people that know the Bible. That's easy. What about the Maccabees? They're history. I don't know.
That's it. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, Yahweh, and be more ready to hear. All right, you got to listen. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
That the Lord said when it comes to the next, okay, they're going to be able to quick understanding. Meaning, like I said, they're going to be more ready to hear. Especially those that come across the campus, those study, okay, or got that weird spirit that something ain't right, and they start to listen, okay, they first time hearing the truth, and it's something just click. Okay, the spiritual light bulb come on, and now they more acquired. I ain't saying that. I'm going to let y'all but speak, so I can then gather information and do my own stuff. Cause he said it, I kind of, I got information and stuff. I know himself and all that. I know about word of mouth and all that. I mean, well, do you do your own research, your own study? But clearly you don't. He just listens. He probably on YouTube, listen to all these.
Then he did.
David Johnson, Johnson.
The main thing he probably talk about Hebrew Israelites, back Hebrew Israelites in the origin of it. Man, look, we already know before our elders and apostles, you had bugged out Israelites of our people, precept for that. And Jeremiah 5 and 28, for among my people are found wicked men. We know that among our people are wicked men, are a bunch of liars, adulterers, and so on and so forth. But he tried to connect us with that. And I was going to say his real name because the last name is like Cherry or something. Because I said Ben Israel. Dealing with that. And that's why you said, through spirit, our elders and apostles, our Bibbin. All right, King Mashah, High Priest Jaquar, High Priest Ariel. Those are all apostles.
Which is small. See, now this word going worldwide. Okay, but like the elder apostle Rick Millstone always said, when it came to the time of Warren West, thought was about our business. Okay, it started off small. Okay, when it comes to a small sanctuary, man. Now it don't grew. So look how that mustard seed. Now look how it first. But now you got millions of Israelites waking up and still only a many on return. Okay. That's the number that we trying to be part of. The rest of the brothers out here that keep the teaching.
See, in Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. Be more ready to hear than to give sacrifice of food, for they consider not that they do evil.
Yeah, so he didn't know that he was doing evil. His basically coming up with Christ.
And many times, and that's why you know that this truth, this word, and the names are sacred. We done said the names how many times? Over 5 to 10 times. And I asked him, what's the name? All he can do is just acknowledge it, letting us know you don't believe. You don't believe, you don't accept. So at the end of the day, why the fuck are you around us, bro?
We need to step into Christianity. Okay? And that's the majority of our people in the world, man. People, they hate. Okay, once again, I was shocked when he looking for the truth with me. to do this. Once again, quick understanding in terms of the. I want to get how but Amos, come to the fulfillment of the word. Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, days come to the Lord, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, that will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, although it is to be a physical famine. We start to see that now. This one spirituality. Okay? When it comes to it says not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but a hearing the words of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. So that's that spiritual famine. When it comes to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, moving his prophets, start off with his prophecy, moving them off the highways and byways, okay? And also courtesy to the internet, the word not being available, okay? Access to it. And we're about to enter the time of more censorship, okay? And the place being more, you saw here, the name is being exposed, information age, regulation, okay? Laws, according to law, unrighteous decrees, Isaiah 21, being put in place, hearing this word, okay? Some of the persecution, okay? Slander, false accusation, demonization. So eventually, Lord will move his next, okay, in his word, okay? Definitely they're going to be at the point of all hell breaking loose. Then when good our people going to see, hey, even these nations, they're going to starve and storm, okay? But they seeing they guys, these idols that they worship, okay, these false gods, or these false religions, which the word religion means the worship. These false philosophies that they believe in the whole time, or trusting America ain't working for them, they're going to want to try to seek for answer. Then they're going to remember, hey, these Israelites, they ain't saying all that. Okay, but a couple of times was going to come, then they're going to want to seek. It says to keep on, verse 9, no, verse 12, man, they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east, they shall run through and fro to speak the word of the Lord, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai shall not find you. Okay, so they shall not find you, but the Lord will remove his name. And his word, when it comes to it being available on the internet, okay, not going to be having access to it. Okay? Then when they're going to be doing it as you made mention, individual. Then they're going to make it part of national, or whether national TV really going to all that suffering, everything going into the suffering. Ultimately, it's the nuclear destruction. Because also he's going to hide us in this time of trouble. Okay? Then the Lord was that time to put them in with that spiritual power. Okay? In that time, you know, most of our people that were scoffing and scorning, the Lord will have mercy upon us. Okay, because of those miracles. Okay, a lot of them, okay, Jeremiah 16 and 16 will play a part. Because of the hunting part. Okay, especially these scoffing and scorning. Okay, that apostle elders always say, don't worry about looking for us, because we will find you. Because of their power. It's Psalms 1:6. My people should be willing to share our power.
This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 13. Verse 14. KJV. I'm going to read it now. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling. Isaiah 8:14, KJV, in the NLT. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
We're going to Yahushua. Hey, so when it comes to the word of Yahushua, the word of Yahushua, the Lord Yahushua, when it comes to Revelation 5, the Lord unleashes the spirit. Okay, that given unto the prophets. Okay, mainly the elect prophets. Okay, that we strive to be part of. Okay, also the hope elect that being this cause. Okay? And when we present the truth to them, especially we make mention of Yahushua and the truth that come with it. Okay, it become a stumbling block, mainly for majority of our people. Okay, when it comes to the truth of it, we all know if you talk either way, people can't run. Okay, even when it comes to so-called, when it comes to Israelites, like other things. Okay, but like you say, he probably could be an Israelite form. Okay,
I still believe he's just ignorant or ignorant.
but there was some stuff. Okay, when it comes to this word, just as it happens, we go like you don't need no man. Okay, you know, because obviously you might be, so you know, try to be Catholic. Okay, but like I said, you got to be trying to find a way. Okay, yeah, but like I said, he hard out look at the sign. Okay, but he couldn't find himself on that road. He's trying to go into the history of the way you see your father and everything. He's ready to make each other's father. I like that. You probably ain't know.
You probably ain't know. You
That's
missing that shit.
part of the curse and everything.
God is comforting from the scripture.
But if it is, the kids is like, you move like kids.
Yeah. But that's our people though. That is our people, bro. That's our people.
You know, when you hear this word, you can't ask you down.
And not even only that, there is many so-called Edomites that walk past us. They don't come over here, they don't bother us.
They know what the deal is.
They know the deal, because they know deep down inside, like, damn, I think they're going to condemn us. We done did so much for it.
It says whatever, Romans 10 and 16 and 17. They have their herd, barely have their herd, but they shall have went throughout all the earth. Okay? Meaning if you thought you don't know who the people is. Average, but we out here all the time. Alphabet cancer. Okay, what they would call us. Okay? And the truth is still bugging on down. Okay? It's out there teaching them. Okay? Yeah, but they see the Hebrew Israelites. But they already know the message to a certain extent. Okay? Meaning that the word has gone vital. Okay? It is Isaiah 13 and 1 and 2. I say how the words that reaches to the gate for the noble. Okay, so these at least they definitely know. Now to the average person they know. Okay, now eyes shall see thy feet. Okay, they should not be pushing the coin anymore. Okay.
NLT. Isaiah 8 and 14 NLT.
Yeah, but Yahweh Shai in his words, some blocks from the good our people, let alone the word. See, that was Simon with Yahweh Shai was first born. Okay, that was the scripture just like they got mixed up. I think the old man Simon, he was living his whole life until Yahweh Shai was born. And when he held Yahweh Shai, he said, this is going to be a child, there's going to be a those that not going to, many that some that going to accept him, many that will not be accepted among Israel. So you can find it.
We can see verse 14, KJ NLT, Isaiah 8:14. He will keep you safe, but to Israel, and he will keep safe is the elect. All right, the one that been given this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Says, but to Israel, northern kingdom, and Judah, southern kingdom, he will be a stone that makes people stumble. All right, a rock that makes them fall, and for the people of Jerusalem, he will be a trap and a snare. That's why at the end of the day, everybody cannot receive this truth. God. Everybody can't receive this truth. Through the Spirit of God, Yahweh Shem God. Countless of scriptures. All right, countless of scriptures. Romans 11, verse 7, and also Matthew the 13th chapter. It's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it's not given. What is that saying? Fuck the rest of the people, man. It's just that simple.
Yahweh Shai is the stumbling block when it comes to the word. It's the stumbling block for the majority of the individual that comes to be in the truth. These false prophets, such as Ayah Oh yeah, Moses ain't been in the truth. Stupid niggas, bro. He gave up.
How?
What General Muhammad, what
I think Mahine and some shit. I was about to say General Yohana, but that wasn't the Mahine.
He just about lost.
Yeah.
He done had him.
He had it. Allowing that bullshit.
Talking like Moses gave up. Basically saying Moses gave up being the man of the Lord, and Lord ain't did it. As brothers that start with apostle elders throughout the week, they're going into different accounts of Lord favored Moses.
It's all through the scripture. All you gotta do is read it. You got to have the spirit upon you. You have about to know the shot.
He is the example of the weak. Because he false prophet. They wrote to in the book, Genesis, a few waxing worse and worse. I used to teach okay? And a lot of other baby groups sell out to okay, as Elder Apostle Sahar on the thing 2026 year of apostate sell out. Then we are. A lot of them false teachers want Israel and people stuff in the people. A lot of them sell out. Doing it for money. Okay? Most of fame. Maybe for money, clout. But how about you now shout to the street? Okay, the sun is blocking stood up. They come to them not understanding the full truth. Okay, down to the average Negro that sit on Native American. Don't have an understanding of the truth or don't accept it. Okay? This is Luke chapter 2, verse 34. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary, his mother, behold, this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken of, shall be spoken against. So that's how it's done. Because back then you had majority of people starting with the Jews. And he would make this and that. Because of the circumcision, they didn't accept how it's done. Okay, so he's trying to make the picture that all the Jews back there didn't accept it. How it's done. So it was an elect of them. It was the son. Okay, mighty Judas. Okay, which you know he had to play his role, which he was the place for Messiah. It was one of the wicked. Okay, the Pharisees. Okay, or the priests is doing that trying to get the step to our side. Okay, the wicked. So amongst them as well, you had those that believe. Okay, that's why he said that he was a fall for some, for the rise for others. Okay, when it comes to the believers. Okay, and he was the stomach block amongst those ones that didn't believe. Okay, even when it came to this Israelite corners, that Paul went to present them to our shop. Okay, beside the law, statutes, commandments that he gave them to him. Okay, but he was always teaching and come back to Yahushua. Then you'll work your way back into the law, statutes, commandments. You'll take Yahushua, you'll inherit. But a lot of those Israelite corners that was in the Muslim, okay, the Romans, okay, that was scattered, they didn't accept Yahushua. Okay, but guess what? There was Israelite corners that Jews. Okay, the elect that converted back. Okay, serving Yahushua. Finally, they come back to their children's head. When it comes to that wild altitude, once again, that was gathered back in during those times. So how much more now? Okay? Because now, you got those that waking up, that really believe and serve Yahushua. Even have the 2/3, they're not going to believe it. They're going to be, eventually going to be judged. Okay? Maybe some with those that are the circumcision that teach the false doctrine. Down to the average nigga that shit on Native American. Okay, they 1 Peter 4 and 17 is going to that. But that's on that. Now I'm trying to get ready to close. Nah, that's it. I'll be mad for you and quoted whatever. We about to get Ezekiel. Because we had quoted Ezekiel and you know that. Ezekiel 11, I think 11. Yeah, Ezekiel. Yeah, about the small sanctuary.
Oh, yeah.
But little sanctuary. Ezekiel 11, verse 16. Therefore say, this say the Lord power, Yahweh Bashinah, although I have passed thee far off among the heathen, like one that is scattered, and the Israelites, the other nations. Okay, but through the spirit of Yahweh Shah, it can be vested in, but it's coming also by the way of the seed of your father. Okay? And mainly just through the spirit that this is going to grasp, okay, the Israelite sin. You may get early. All the spell one time. All the been in the Israelite.
First Corinthians 12 and 2, which I read. That was the first precept that I read.
All the spell in this time fell for my inheritance. Okay, yeah, the modern day, as we will call ourselves, or when they labor upon us, African, Negro, Hispanic, Latino, Native American, that would be just as back then calling ourselves Greeks, Romans. Okay, going into the culture of Ham, Elam,
and names going after the different lands that we dwelled in, because the different lands that we dwelled in, we was the citizens of that land. So just like how in today's time we're considered African Americans or Americans, it's the same back then.
And back then, wherever they were scattered, they end up them those false gods that was or those idols that was uphold amongst those people. In Egypt, you would have told you know about Ptolemy, how Ptolemy took over Egypt, Alexander, Egypt, the Greeks, the rappers Christmas and all. Okay, that a lot of people that follow that false god. Okay, you wouldn't know all that. Okay? But the water Yahweh Shalom Shah, they do the apostle elder. Okay, and we learn from. Okay, but this and today. Okay, white boy Jesus. Ain't no be your modern day to rap this script.
Look, he lucky we ain't got no eyes out with Jesus Christ with the devil horn. He would have been last out.
Everybody walking, run away, jumping in the track.
So either that or ready to fight us. Talking about we operate the fuck out of it, bro. That's just funny.
Hey, what you want to know where it is? Where it is?
On your own.
And I'm saying, the Lord Yahweh Shah, he knows this one on the basis of ultimate basis is the Heavenly Father Yahweh. That's what he knows. And what the word perceives is the Bible false. But Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16, therefore say, this is the Lord's power, the house of Shah. Although I have cast them far off among the heathen, although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Okay, that's 22:8. Therefore say, this is Lord God, I will even gather you from the people, from out of the heathen nation, that we scattered them up, here in America, worldwide. Matthew the 24th chapter, verses 29 to 31, Lord gathering them worldwide. Mainly the great religious spirit of America. It says, verse 17, therefore says, this is the Lord God, I will even gather you from the people by the way of the chance, that Yahweh shall return, and assemble you out of the country where ye have been gathered, and I will give you the land of Israel. Okay, talk with your land. Okay? Especially going into the mystical structure, so you really don't know.
All he's gonna do is smile and shake his head. That's all he could have done.
To be honest with you, a lot of people, they really in the movie. They see this face on them.
They know this shit, bro.
But they just can't pinpoint it. Because a lot of people in the back of their mind, they don't get better. They're crashing out. They're crashing out. A lot of you saw either, a lot of people, they know it all. Man, they get on social media, they look like it's going to be the same. They ain't the same 5, 10 years ago. Okay? Now, this place is made it for the truth. Jeremiah 51 and all. Okay, Babylon 18 hill, man. Okay? 70 and all, verse 8. That's on that. But the Lord want to do with that small sanctuary, that little sanctuary. Okay, when it comes to the next situation. 144,000. Start with the men. And 1/3 includes the believers, the men, women, and the children. Okay, the household of the next. Okay? Which is another way of saying the house of David.
One more verse, let's close on. Matthew 13 and 11 in NLT. He replied, you are permitted to understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but others are not.
What
that letter Yahweh
The Lord said it's only given to it was a few initially at the kingdom. But to the rest of them, it is not. They took their lawsuit at this time. Once again, what they got to be reborn, reincarnation, and keep getting themselves back. Okay?
You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker, like, real talk, that motherfucker wasted his time up here, bro. Because like you said, like me and you both know and agreed to it. All it was, he wanted us to denounce what we believe in and follow it after Christianity. That's all it was. Yeah.
Christianity, it's time. It's old, man. See, most of these Christians know that. Why you think they always trying to mess with the Hebrew Israelites? I think I read a report earlier. I think I forgot who brought out. I think the other guy from Wamba. I forgot who brought out. I know it's his brother. He was saying how a lot of these about, I think my brother Marco, but how in this year alone, a lot of these about going to have about over 1,000 churches that hold Christianity. That they ain't even attending no more. You know? All these churches here in America that claim they got the truth, look how what this truth is. He's talking about hell, this is hell. This place America alone is hell. Which I'm telling you, you don't know the concept of hell. You think it's a mythical place that people burn forever. You don't know that the concept of word. Okay, when it comes to the hell means those states. Strange, difficult, strange, yeah. See, not actual spiritual or physical place that people burn forever. See, that won't make the Lord merciful. I guess we will go ahead and in the street ministry for the night. It's time. This is we open up with. We'll go ahead and close out by giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach in that Ruwell today. Peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry. That's scattered worldwide in all truth, sincerity, day in and day out. Until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.